City tries to fine me for not mowing my lawn, so I threatened the city with a fine for not mowing theirs. I bought my first house 3 years ago, and the previous owner never mentioned anything about property lines. The lawn looked like it went straight to the curb, same as every other house on the block, so I figured that's where my responsibility ended. 6 weeks after moving in, I got a certified letter from city code enforcement. My grass exceeded 8 inches, and I had 5 business days to mow, or they'd send a contractor at $75 per square foot, not total per square foot. I did the math and almost threw up. My grass was maybe 10 inches in the back corner because I'd been slammed with moving and starting a new job, but nothing insane. I mowed everything that weekend just to avoid the headache. 2 months later, same letter. I'd mowed the week before. Then 3 weeks after that, another one. This kept happening even when I was mowing every Saturday morning without fail. I started screenshotting the weather app and taking dated photos of my lawn just to have proof I was keeping up. The 4th letter came on a Tuesday, and I'd mowed that previous Sunday. I was done being polite. I walked my entire yard with my phone recording every section. All my grass was about 6 inches, perfectly fine. But then I spotted this strip between what I thought was my lawn edge and the actual street curb. That strip was easily a foot tall, super overgrown and weedy. I stared at it for a solid minute before the thought hit me. I'd never actually checked where my property legally ended. I just assumed curb meant property line because that's how it looked, and how I'd always thought property worked. Next day, on my lunch break, I drove to the county records office. $12 got me my official plat. I sat in my car reading it and felt this weird mix of anger and excitement. My property line stopped 15 feet before the curb. There was also a 10-foot utility easement, which meant my responsibility actually ended 25 feet back from the street. The city had been threatening me with massive fines for not mowing city-owned property. I drove home and measured the strip with my tape measure because I needed to be absolutely sure before I did anything. 15 feet deep, 50 feet across the front of my lot, 750 square feet of grass that belonged to the city. At $75 per square foot, they were about to owe themselves $56,000. I sat at my kitchen table that night and retyped their exact letter word for word, changed the recipient to City of Riverside Code Enforcement Office, attached highlighted copies of my property plat, photos of my tape measure showing the distances, and a calculation of their fine using their own rate. I sent it certified mail because I wanted confirmation someone actually had to sign for it. I also sent a normal letter to the code enforcement supervisor explaining the mistake with all the same documentation, trying to be somewhat professional about it. 9 days later, I pulled into my driveway after work and the strip was mowed. No letter in my mailbox, no bill, no phone call, nothing. Someone from the city had just quietly handled it. Here's the best part. For the next 5 years I lived there. The city mowed that strip every other week like clockwork. I never got another violation letter, not one. About 2 years in, I got too busy with work travel to keep up with my own lawn, so I hired this kid named Austin who lived a few streets over. He was maybe 16 and saving up for a car. When I showed him the property, I specifically pointed at the strip by the curb and told him never to mow it. He looked confused, so I explained the whole situation. He laughed so hard he had to sit down on my front steps. He told me his mom had gotten similar letters from the city and had been paranoid about keeping their lawn perfect ever since. Every time the city maintenance truck rolled up to mow that strip, I'd watch from my window. They'd unload, mow right up to where my grass started, then pack up and leave. Professional and quick. Nobody ever knocked on my door or left a note.